Hello and a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to GradeUp, India's largest online learning platform. This is Daily Current Affairs. My name is Kumar Prateek and I teach economy and current affairs on GradeUp platform, and I teach daily current affairs every day at 9 p.m. from Tuesday to Saturday every weekdays. Now, without wasting any more time, let's start with today's daily current affairs. The first topic for today is National Portal for Transgender Person. Why is this in news? The Union Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment has recently launched a portal through which transgender persons can apply for gender identity certificates online. Now let's know about National Portal for Transgender Person. This National Portal for Transgender Person has been developed within 2 months of the notification of Transgender Person Protection of Rights Rule 2020 on September 29, 2020. What will be the benefits accrued by transgender person in this? The portal helps people from the community to come forward and get transgender certificate and identity cards as per self-perceived identity. So here the concept of self-certification and self-perceived identity comes in, which is an important provision of the Transgender Person Protection of Rights Act 2019. The portal will allow transgender person to upload an affidavit declaring their gender, which then becomes a basis for identity certificate to be issued by the respective district magistrates. It will enable a transgender person to apply for a certificate and identity card from anywhere in the country without having to visit any office. The portal will also enable them to register their grievances and help build a database of the community. It will also help enable the transgender person to apply for certificates and identity cards from anywhere in the country, same without having to visit any offices. So this is about this portal. The topic is from GS paper 2, Social Justice and Social Issues. The source is the Hindu newspaper. The second topic for today is Garima Grah. Recently, Union Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment inaugurated a Garima Grah, a shelter home for transgender persons. What is this Garima Grah scheme? It is a pilot project scheme, and on its successful completion, similar schemes will be extended in other parts of the country. This scheme, which is the Garima Grah scheme, is a shelter home for transgender person. The ministry has decided to set up, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has decided to set up shelter home for transgender persons who have been forced to leave their homes or are abandoned by their family. The first such home will come up in Vadodara in Gujarat, was inaugurated in this e-launch. By 31st March next year, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Patna, Kolkata, Jaipur, Raipur, Bhubaneswar and Manipur will also have such homes to be called Garima Grah with capacity of 25 people per Garima Grah. They'll be run by transgender community-led organizations. These shelters will also provide skill training to connect community members with livelihood opportunities. This topic is also from GS paper 2, Social Justice and Social Issues. The source is the Hindu newspaper. The third topic for today is ISRO's Sukarnayaan mission. The Indian Space Research Organization has shortlisted 20 space-based experiment proposals, including from France, for its proposed Venus orbiter mission called Shukrayaan to study the planet for more than 4 years. These 20 payloads, scientific instrument proposals, including collaboration contributions from Russia, France, Sweden Germany are currently underway. So what is this Shukrayaan? It is a mission to study Venus for more than 4 years. The satellite is planned to be launched either in 2024 or 2026 on board GSLV Mark II rocket. The payload capability of the proposed 2500 kg satellite. It was noted that the optimal launch window when Venus is closest to the Earth comes in about every 19 months. The scientific objectives of Shukrayaan mission are investigation of surface processes and shallow subsurface stratigraphy, solar wind interaction with Venusian ionosphere, and study the structure, composition, and dynamics of Venus's atmosphere. What will be the significance of studying Venus? Venus is described as a twin sister of Earth because of similarity in the size, mass, density, and bulk composition as well as gravity. It is believed that both planets share common origin, forming at the same time out of the condensing nebulosity around 4.5 billion years ago. Venus is around 30% closer to Sun as compared to Earth, resulting in much higher solar flux. So this topic is GS paper 3 Science and Technology. The source is the Hindu newspaper. Moving on. Fourth topic for today is Pilibhit Tiger Reserve gets global award for doubling tiger population. The Pilibhit Tiger Reserve in Uttar Pradesh and the Uttar Pradesh Forest Department has bagged the first ever international award for TX2 for doubling the number of tigers in 4 years against the target of 10 years. The growth to 40 tigers in a short span of 4 years was recognized by 2x2 award, TX2 award this year. Now let's talk about Pilibhit Tiger Reserve. It is situated in Uttar Pradesh, forming the part of Tarai Arc landscape in the Upper Gangetic Plain Biogeographic Province. It was declared as a tiger reserve in 2008, so it's not that old, it's just 12-year old. The northern ridge of the reserve lies in Indo-Nepal border, while the southern boundaries are marked by Sharda and Khakra rivers. Pilibhit Tiger Reserve was the first to receive the award among the 13 tiger range countries. Now, India and what is the tiger scenario in India? India's Project Tiger was launched back in 1973 with 9 tiger reserves. The National Tiger Status Assessment of 2018-19 estimated that overall tiger population of India is around 29, meaning 2,967 tigers, which is 33% increase from the 2014 number, which was 2,226 tigers. The 2018 census, once every 4 years, a tiger census is done in India. So 2018 census has set a Guinness Book of Record for being the largest camera trap wildlife survey. The largest contiguous tiger population in the world, about 724 tigers are found in Western Ghats, from Nagarhole to Bandipur to Wayanad to Mudamalai to Sathyamangalam to Biligiri Ranganathaswamy temple block. What is the regional scenario? Madhya Pradesh has the highest number of tigers as 526, followed by Karnataka 528, followed by Uttarakhand 442. Northeast, only the northeast region of India has suffered losses in the tiger population. Now let's talk about states where tiger population is in decline. The tiger states in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha has steadily declined, which is a matter of concern for India. Out of the 50 tiger reserves in India, 3 reserves, Mizoram's Dampa Reserve, Bengal's Buksa Reserve and Jharkhand's Palamau reserves, have no tigers left in them. Corbett Tiger Reserve of Uttarakhand has the largest population of tiger at about 231 tigers in 2018. Now, this T2X program, it is an initiative by WWF, Worldwide Fund of Nature, launched in 2010 in St. Petersburg Tiger Summit. Under this program, all 13 tiger range governments have committed to double the number of wild tigers by 2022. 13 tiger range countries are India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Cambodia, China, Indonesia, Laos PDR, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, Russia, Thailand and Vietnam. Now, what is this Worldwide Fund? It is an international non-governmental organization founded in 1961 to stop the degradation of the planet's natural environment and to build a future in which humans live in harmony with the nature. It is headquartered in Gland, Switzerland. This topic is from GS paper 3, Environment. The source is Indian Express. The next topic for today is National Infrastructure Investment Fund, NIIF debt platform. So recently Union Cabinet has recently approved infusion of 6,000 crore rupees equity in National Infrastructure Investment Fund debt platform in the next 2 years. This move will help the entities raise 1.10 lakh crores by 2025 for financing infrastructure projects. The proposal to invest 6,000 crore as equity into NIIF is a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat third package announced earlier this month. Now, this NIIF, National Infrastructure Investment Fund, what is this? The NIIF Strategic Opportunities Fund has set up a debt platform. Debt platform is a borrowing platform, okay, comprising an NBFC, non-banking financial company infrastructure debt fund, and a non-banking financial company's infrastructure finance company. The NIIF, through its Strategic Opportunities Fund, owns majority position in both companies and has already invested rupees 1,899 crores across the platform. The Strategic Opportunity Fund, through which the NIIF invests and has made investment, will continue to support the two companies apart from investing in suitable investment opportunities. What are the benefits which will occur from this? National, which is NIIF, will take all necessary steps to use the equity investment from domestic as well as global pension funds and sovereign wealth fund expeditiously, faster. It will attract a lot of sovereign funds for investment in infrastructure related activities. Through a debt platform, it will also raise a lot of money, and by 2025 it must provide an infrastructure funding of up to rupees 1.1 lakh crore rupees for national infrastructure pipeline, which was also announced this year. This is GS paper 3, infrastructure, which is a part of economy. The source is Live Mint. The next topic for today is electronic vaccine intelligence. The Prime Minister of India has informed that government is using EVIN, Electronic Vaccine Intelligence Network, in association with United Nations Development Programme UNDP to identify primary beneficiaries and vaccine distribution network. And this EVIN will focus on strengthening immunization supply chain system in India by providing real-time information on vaccine stocks and flow and storage temperatures across cold chain points. Now, this EVIN, which is Electronic Vaccine Intelligence Network, is an innovative technology solution aimed at strengthening immunization supply chain system across the country. and this is being implemented under the National Health Mission by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, this e-win aims to provide real-time information on vaccine stock, flows, and storage temperature across all cold chain points in the country. This wants to provide a robust system that has been used with requisite customization during COVID pandemic for ensuring continuation of essential immunization services, protecting children and pregnant mothers against vaccines of preventable diseases. Now, this e-win platform combines state-of-the-art technology, a strong IT infrastructure, trained human resource to enable real-time monitoring of stock and storage temperatures of vaccine kept at multiple locations across the country. It is an indigenously developed technology that digitizes vaccine stocks and monitors the temperature of cold chains through smartphone applications. What will be the significance of this e-win? e-win supports central government's universal immunization program by providing real-time information on vaccine stocks and flows and storage temperature across the country. Now, who will guide the vaccine introduction to all states and UTs? The center has begun its preparation for introduction of COVID-19 vaccines, and a national expert group on vaccine administration for COVID-19, NEGVAC, has been formed as the highest group that will guide strategies for vaccine introduction, vaccine of COVID-19. This is GS paper 2, governance. The source is the Hindu newspaper. The next topic for today is Prohibition of Unlawful Religious Conversion Ordinance 2020. Uttar Pradesh Cabinet has recently cleared a draft on ordinance against forceful interfaith conversions, so-called love jihad. There are several apprehensions about the intent behind this law and its implication. The new law will put the onus on defendant to prove the conversion was not for marriage. So what is this proposed law says? The proposed law's name is Prohibition of Unlawful Religious Conversion Ordinance 2020. Recommends that found guilty for conversion done through misrepresentation, force, undue influence, coercion, allurement, or by any fraudulent means in contravention with law would face a jail term of 1 to 5 years and minimum fine of rupees 15,000. A special law for SC/ST community has also been created. In the case such a conversion is of minor, a woman from scheduled caste or scheduled tribe community, then those found guilty would have to face a jail term from 3 to 10 years and with a minimum fine of 25,000 rupees. The notice period to the district magistrate for religious conversion have been doubled to 2 months from a month, which was in the earlier draft. Now, what is the background? Ordinance comes day after Allahabad High Court said that in a verdict that right to choose a partner or to live with a person of choice was a part of citizens' fundamental right to life and liberty, which is Article 21. The verdict also said earlier court ruling that religious conversions for marriage was unacceptable and was not a good in law. This topic is GS paper 2, social issue and social justice. The source is the Hindu newspaper. So this was today's daily current affairs. Now before I end, we at GradeUp are celebrating our 5-year anniversary, and we are happy to announce a 5-year anniversary sale for GradeUp Super subscription, which will provide you unlimited IAS and EPFO courses and mock tests. So under this, our celebratory sale, the 24-month subscription will be available to you at 18,000 rupees. 12-month subscription will be available to you at 15,120 rupees. And 6-month subscription will be available to you at 12,000 rupees. So I'll urge you guys to buy now. Now, before I end, there are a few more announcements I have to make. So GradeUp Super is there to help you in your IAS preparation. GradeUp Super is bringing to you IAS 2021, a comprehensive course for GS prelims cum mains. Course is available both in English as well as Hindi medium. Under this course, you will get 350 plus live GS classes, both for prelims and mains, 325 plus PDFs and 5000 plus practice question, additional classes for Yojana, India Yearbook, Kurukshetra magazine and CSAT, 30 plus mock tests for prelims, 12 GS tests for mains, 2 essay tests and 7 previous year papers. Then we are having 11 plus structured live courses such as IS 2021 comprehensive course for prelims and mains, UPSC EPFO comprehensive course for prelims, a complete NCERT module for civil services which will cover your NCERT books from 6th to 12th. You will be taught in this by star faculty such as Naman Jain sir, who is an economics expert. Then there is Vasu Katara sir, who is ethics and internal security expert. Then there is B. Teja Sai sir, who is science and technology expert. Then there is Himani Suri ma'am and Shailen Singh sir, who are NCERT experts. Then there is Harshmeet sir, polity expert. Then there is Rohan Tyagi sir, geography and ecology expert. And then there is me. My name is Kumar Prateek and I teach economics and current affairs on GradeUp platform. Moving on, apart from this announcement, I have another announcement for you guys that we are conducting daily free classes on our GradeUp app. So, we have daily editorial analysis at 12 p.m. every day, UPSC EPFO classes at 5 p.m, special 5 lecture series at 7 p.m, GS for IS 2021 Ranker series at 8 p.m. and daily current affairs at 9 p.m. So these are the free classes we are conducting for you on GradeUp app. Now, every day we are also conducting free classes for you guys on YouTube. Like every day I am present at 9 a.m. presenting you guys with daily current affairs. These were the some announcement which I had to make before I close the lecture. Now I will take your leave. I will see you guys tomorrow again. Till then, thank you and bye-bye.